Welcome to Talented Tea, Valton
Thank
Jackson.
you. Thank you for having me. I think this is such a great idea. This is something so cool that you started this. So
Yes.
congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question. So, how long have you been in the industry?
Well, I mean, I started like my first like professional job as an entertainer
Mm-hmm.
right the day after I graduated from college. I was 22 years old and I was working at a theater in Dixon, Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
The Renaissance Center. We were doing, it was a summer stock, and we were doing a co-contract production of High School Musical. I was
Oh,
like one of the basketball players, like in the
of
ensemble.
course. Hey.
And then and then we did a chorus line,
Ooh.
which I played Richie, which is so much fun.
I
Yes.
can
And so
see
I was
that.
22, I'm 34 now. So that was like 12 years ago. It's over 12 years ago, because it would have been like the summer of 2008.
Okay.
And so we just passed the summer of 2020. So yeah, over 12 years ago. But honestly, like I was a member of like a professional boys singing choir when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had done like a little bit of like modeling in high school. So like, honestly, like it feels like my entire life. Like I've never really done anything else besides like perform. I just feel like it's really all I know. But as a like, professional signed contract, getting paid, actor, independent contractor of myself as Valton Jackson.
Yes.
It's been 12 years.
Okay. Who or what motivated you to like go into the arts? Like, was it someone that encouraged you? Was it somebody or something that like motivated you that made you say, this is what I got to do? This is what I have to do.
I mean, I would say a combination of those things. Like most of us, I think, I remember being a kid, being this like little black gay boy in the South, like in Georgia. I was like born in Birmingham, but I moved to Georgia when I was very young. So I think of myself as a Georgian. I grew up there. And I just kind of remember, like, I played sports. I was in Boy Scouts. Like, I did the like typical little boy stuff. And I was kind of always like I'm here just kind of going through the motions. But I was like, this doesn't really feel like my vibe. And then I remember like discovering music and theater and dancing and stuff. And I was like, all of a sudden something about me felt right, like felt normal. And I was like, I was inspired by like fellow children performers. Like I can remember being a freshman in high school, and we were in rehearsals for Once on This Island. It's like literally my favorite. Who knows me, that was like my favorite musical. And I remember the girl who played Erzuli, she like sang her song, Erzuli's song in that show, Human Heart. And I just remember like sitting there being like, wow, like her voice is so beautiful. I was like, I want to make people feel that way when I do, like when I'm up there, And just, I remember one of my mom's friends took me to see my first play. I saw The Sound of Music when I was like 8 or 9. I just remember being like, again, like I just remember like sitting there being like, this looks like so much fun. Like, this is cool. Like people do that. Like, can I do that? Like that seems fun. And so I would just say like all of that combined just made me be like, I want to be an entertainer. Like I really enjoy singing and dancing. And I was like, this is what I wanted. Like sports are cool, for people who play sports, that's awesome, incredible, but everyone has their thing. And I was like, it just felt right. I just remember being, even at a young age, being like, I feel like I could do this forever.
Right. Okay. So that moment for you, I think, because my next question was going to be, was there an aha moment? Like, where it's like the stars just like align and you're like, I'm gonna be an artist. I'm gonna be, this is what I'm gonna do. So was that moment like when you saw Once on This Island, when you saw Erzuli singing? Would you say that was the moment, or was there another moment?
I mean, I would definitely say that was one of them. I definitely, especially as a vocalist, because I remember that girl specifically, her name was Tiffany, and her voice was just so like unapologetically just beautiful. And like she wasn't crying. And like, granted, anyone who knows that show and knows that part, that song, it does just kind of require it requires a strong vocalist, and it requires just sort of a less is more type approach, I think. Like just sing the song, it's not as performative, because it's just about like love in its truest form. Right. And I just remember her, and she was like, she was only like a senior in high school. Like this girl was like 17 years old at the time, but I just remember sitting there watching her being like, wow, like I
Oh,
want to do that to people. Like I want to get up there and like that's how I got it.
yeah.
Because I remember too in that production, like all of the gods were seniors and I was a freshman. And so
Mm-hmm.
they were all, like, and it was my first time ever doing a play. And so
Okay.
they were all like theater kids who had been doing this for like at least all through high school, if not before.
Right.
So they were on it. Like they already had their stuff down. And
Mm.
I was playing Agwe and I was just like, I don't think I was doing bad, but I was a 14-year-old kid. So like I didn't have
Right.
any experience. So like I just
Right.
wasn't like,
You
I
were
wasn't at the
fresh.
same level as these seniors that were like
Right.
nailing it. And I
Mm-hmm.
just remember being like, oh, Valton, that's what you gotta get, like, clearly Agwe and Erzuli are two very different characters. But I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I need to, like, I gotta step, like, I was like, it's supposed to be like that? Like, oh, okay, like, cool. Like,
Right. Right.
so, yeah. And then, of course, obviously, like, all of us growing up with, like, our favorite, like, recording artists and, like, watching movies and stuff. Just, I don't know. Like, I feel like it was a transitional moments of aha
Right.
throughout my like childhood, early childhood, and like adolescence. But
Okay.
definitely, yeah, that moment in rehearsal of like watching Tiffany sing Human Heart was
Mm.
for sure an aha moment for me.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So in your 12 years, your 12
Oh,
something years of performing,
yeah. Dang.
or even before that, in your whole life of performing, even before the 12 years or whatever,
Mhm.
what would you say, if you have one, what would you say
Mhm.
was your best or favorite gig so far?
Hmm. Um, there's been some really, really fun ones.
Hmm.
I would say, huh, my, I mean, there's been some really, really fun ones. I had some really, really great times. Some
Yeah.
of them, obviously pay more than others. So that's
Oh,
always cute.
okay. So that's
Not,
definitely fun.
not mad at a check
Okay.
ever. Yeah, just saying. But I would say probably my most rewarding gig thus far
Uh-huh.
it was summer of 2017
Hmm.
in Brooklyn, New York.
Mm.
It was Pride Month, and I was signed up as one of the performing artists for Brooklyn Pride,
Oh,
and it was my
wow.
first time like performing my own like original music. And
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine come up with some choreography, and I had a couple of like guys I knew from theater world who were like my dancers. I got us like costumes and everything,
Yes.
and I just remember like it was a very like really really like I felt accomplished, like a really rewarding
Mm.
moment. Because like I like for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a recording artist. I've always wanted to have my own music videos and
Mm.
do my own songs and perform and like that whole life. Like I've like always
Yeah.
wanted that more than anything. And
Hmm.
I guess like you move to New York and you kind of get caught up in the theater machine, and that's kind of like takes your focus. So you're just going on these auditions, and like you're
Mm.
essentially putting the hands of putting your career in the hands of like the people behind the table, and like
Right.
they're the ones that decide what shows you do and what parts you're going to be in, like if any.
Mm.
And I just remember like that being a moment where I felt like I was like really in control of my career and doing something that I had always wanted to do
Yeah.
with my songs that I wrote, that I recorded. It's my show. And it was like, it was like literally like a 10-15 minute set. Like I performed like 3 songs and did like a little like talk back, whatever. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't a big, huge deal,
Yeah.
but it
But it
felt
was.
great. Like
But it
it was,
was.
yeah, I mean, awesome. And I mean, I didn't even get paid for it, but I mean, it was just something I was like, this is great. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I wanted to get up there and do it again. I was so nervous. Like, is it gonna go well? I'm like, can I do this? Like, I mean, I know I'm an entertainer and performer and stuff, but like, I've
Yeah.
never just gotten on stage and just been myself. Like, it's always
Right.
been like in a theater moment where I'm like playing a character, or even when we did, royal stuff, like they were review shows and we were kind of
Right.
like singing pop songs and being our own version of a pop star, but there
That
was
you
also
already knew
theater.
somebody liked, and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
You were assuming a character still,
Right.
and to some degree, and like singing songs that people have heard for years. So of course
Yeah.
they're gonna like it, and you know how to perform it because this is how Madonna performed it, or this is how
Right.
Prince performed it, or whatever. Because it's like
Exactly. Yeah.
this is what I mean. But
Hmm.
to get on stage and do your own work, that like these are your songs and people don't know these songs, and you have to perform how you perform. It's like, what does that even look like?
Right. Yeah.
Like I don't know. So that was probably like thus far like my
Wow.
favorite gig I've ever done, just because it was just really like I was like, oh my god, like I did it. Like I got there
Yeah.
and like I was like I want to do it again. I was like, and it
Yeah.
was like proving to yourself like you can do something that you always wanted to do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
so yeah, I really enjoyed that moment. That day. It was fun, and everyone was real supportive, and it was a good time.
I can only imagine. That's so awesome to like put yourself out there and
Yeah,
to just, and then
it's
afterwards
not
be
easy to
like,
do.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
it's like you're just walking out there like butt naked and you're just like standing there
right,
not doing
right. It's like
anything.
let's
It's
right.
kind of that.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
to get the feedback, that you
Yeah.
want and that you didn't
Yes.
expect,
Yeah.
that's rewarding right there. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was
Yeah.
a good.
Okay.
I
Are
want to
you
do it
planning
again.
to do anything like that again?
I mean, yeah, like so that summer I just so happened, because normally summers I'm like somewhere doing some show,
Yeah.
and that summer I just so happened to be like available for Pride Month. It was like one of the first prides I had actually like been in New York for, and
Mhm.
I just happened to be available for the performance.
Okay.
But oh my god, I would love to like do more performances. I performed my songs at like a couple of clubs and like cabarets and things, but like
Yeah.
I definitely want to do more of it. One of my like self discoveries of the last few months in 2020. There's been a lot of that for all of us.
Okay.
I hope there should
Uh-huh.
be, and
Right.
I've definitely like discovered, and I guess I already knew this, but reiterated to myself that like, yeah, my music and performing is really, really important to me, and it's something I want to focus on more. Like I released a few remixes this year, which is cool, and I've been working with my producers on like getting my album together and stuff. And so
Okay.
like, yeah, so like it's definitely something I want to put more time and energy towards, and I
Right.
and I guess I didn't realize I did have the time. I guess I was neglecting it for other things.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely want to like do more shows and performances, more music videos. I had a music video come
Okay.
out earlier this year, and yeah,
All
just
right.
more of that stuff. Like, because I mean, again, like I mean, it is what I've always wanted to do. Like, I do love
Mhm.
theater, and I am getting more into like film and TV a little bit. But like music is definitely where I think I've always felt the most emotionally connected. And it's
Mm.
what I've always enjoyed doing the
Okay.
most,
Okay.
probably more than anything.
Okay.
And there's definitely something really, really cathartic about the process of like songwriting, which I really,
Mhm.
really enjoy. Like sitting down and thinking about like experiences you've had in life and
Yes.
things you've been through,
Yes.
people you've known, writing down lyrics to it, creating a melody, and then going into a studio and like
Mhm.
recording it. Like there's just something about that's almost like, I don't know. It's like going through your stuff and like putting
Yeah.
it out there and like getting it out, and like music and art is forever. So it's like you can always
That's
revisit that
so
and like
true. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that's so great. Yeah. Now, come on, boo. So, what would be your dream job or your goal, like your highest of high?
Yes, yes. Good question.
Thank you.
Um, like like most artists, like there's so many things I want to do and so many things that make me happy in the world of like arts and everything, of course.
Mhm.
But again, speaking on like self-discovery and reevaluating and everything, throughout the pandemic, I found that like as much as I enjoy theater, I think it's great, and sure, I wouldn't mind being on Broadway one day for like a show or two.
Yeah.
But what really like fulfills me and what I really, really enjoy doing is like songwriting, like writing my own songs and recording my own music and performing them for people and having people listen to them and like relate and be inspired by them. So for me, that would be the ultimate goal, is to like, just be like a recording artist, and that's my
Yeah.
main gig, and that's what people know me as a music artist, recording artist, and I go around the world performing my songs and having people sing them and do more music videos and live performances, go on tour. Like I would love to do all of that stuff. Is
Cool.
what would be the ultimate goal. But I do enjoy like film and TV as well. Like I
Mm.
wouldn't mind dabbling more in that world as I go
Yeah.
throughout my career also.
Yeah.
But definitely like music. Like I ideally I'd love for that to be my like main source of income above anything else,
Mm.
with a few little side hustles here and there.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't mind maybe like I've also had these like certain like career aspirations recently. I was like, I would love to maybe like design like a fitness like clothing line for men, but
Mm.
maybe like market it a little more towards like gay men, like because I like to wear cute little like when I don't have my pandemic weight. I like to wear little like crop tops and cute little leggings and like cute little
Yes.
like fitness boy clothes. But I feel like sometimes it's hard to find like girls have so many cute fitness clothes, and I feel like the guy stuff is
Yeah.
always just like neutral colors and like it's the same fit, it's the same style. It's just always so boring. I'm just like
Hmm.
I just feel like it's always marketed towards like straight guys who like are like bros or whatever, which is
Yeah.
cool. Like I mean, nothing against those types of guys, but I wouldn't mind having cute fitness boy clothes that are like just as cute as the girls, like polka
Right.
dots and fun patterns and cute little
Yeah.
like razor backs and kind of stuff. So like I wouldn't mind doing something
That's
like that.
actually a great idea,
I
Val.
love that.
You need to put that in writing and get that started because
Yeah, I mean,
I
I have my list of career goals on the wall over there,
good.
and it's on there. I don't know the first thing about designing clothes, but I know I have ideas, and I'm like, if I could sit with someone who that is what they do is design clothes, I could be like, okay, so this is my idea. Does this work feasibly? How would this look? Okay, that's cool, but like, can it do this? Like,
Yeah.
that kind of.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
amazing. That's a good idea. That's
I'd like that. But
honey.
yeah, music. I like a recording artist. I like that to be my main gig with some
Okay.
other little things on this heavy, a little sprinkle that
Yeah.
you did, you
Okay. I like that. Come on, Val.
know.
So
A little entrepreneur, a business,
right.
an empire, if you
Yes.
will.
Yes. I'm here for it, child. And when you come out with that, when you start your music and you move on to the, designing the clothing, can you do
Yeah.
something for women too? Because I know it's gonna be hot.
Yes. Oh my God. I love. Oh my God. Shopping with my female friends is like
Girl.
one of my favorite things to do. Like I
Yes.
live vicariously through y'all when I get to do it. Like it's great. I want you to try on all the things. I'm like, this is gonna be cute. Like this is your color. Like this is what you need. Yes, I will absolutely design some stuff for girls. Yes, I love my ladies. Okay, I
Love
can't
it.
leave the girls out. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're coming up to our share sequence now. So
Oh.
you wanna just explain to our audience what you're sharing with us today?
Sure. I mean, the clips I sent were I sent you my current dance reel. There's just like a video that features like me as a performer and like who I am like as a dancer because I do love dance. I really really do. I'm
Yeah.
inspired by a lot of like singer dancers, like recording artist types, and just dancers in general.
Yeah.
I love the art of dance. So I sent you my dance reel, which also the song playing is one of my remixes to my song Told. That
Oh.
yeah, so it's
Come on
really
now.
good. Yes, I really that's one of my favorites. A lot of people seem to like that one more than like the others.
Mm-hmm.
With a producer named Dell D3L for
Okay.
D3L Productions. He's really cool. And so I sent that. I sent clips of all my music videos. One for my debut music video for "Can't Get Next to You," which
Okay.
that debut single that came out back in 2015. It was fun. It's like a performance music video, just me and like a few of my friends, and we were just like dancing, having a good time. It's like a good time good
Yeah.
feel song, for like dancing in the
Okay.
club. I sent clips of my music video shirtless.
Mm-hmm.
That one was my second single, a little more like R&B inspired, a little more
Okay.
sexy, me and some boys. And the concept, the director came up with this sort of like Alice in Wonderland
Mm.
type theme. So
Okay.
like basically like I'm on a train and this guy gives me this note
Yeah.
and I like follow him and like he takes me into this like I don't know, this fun, dancey, sexy, homoerotic world somewhere in like some library or something.
Oh.
And so we like dance and everything. And then I wake up and it's kind of like it was all a dream or like, was it? Because the note's still there.
Okay.
And that was a fun one. That came out like 2016. And then my latest music video
Mm-hmm.
for my single, Greatest Part of Me, came out earlier this year.
Okay.
It's another performance video. It's just kind of me on a New York rooftop and like singing out to the world, essentially. When I initially wrote that song, I was kind of like wanting to just kind of like make a wedding song, like a wedding record.
Mm-hmm.
But the song that would be like, oh, this would be great at a wedding.
Right.
But then I was like, the more I thought about it, I kind of wanted to do something maybe a little more universal, because I feel like not everyone's into like getting married or wedding. Like, you know, there's so many different forms of pure, like unapologetic, like love, like
Yes.
unconditional love, and so many different things. So like husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, kids, your dog, your career. Like, I mean, it could be anything, you know, and all of those are valid. So essentially I like, you know, I took out the lyrics that were so like specifically wedding day oriented and made them a little more universal, but it still could be like a wedding song. In fact, I remember someone commenting on the music video like, oh my God, this would be such a pretty like song for a wedding. I was like, oh, you get it. Thank you. So like, yeah, so I filmed that music video here in New York. Well, all three of them were filmed in New York. And yeah, that one's just like a nice, you know, performance music video that I really enjoy. And then I did send you a clip of this web series I did called Journeys, season 2 for this production company called Himeros, but it's all on YouTube. And I played the character Otto, and that's from episode 4, the final episode of that season, where he and his boyfriend, they've been going back and forth about what their relationship is, what it meant, and like exactly how to define it. You know, the character I play, he wants to be maybe a little more monogamous, or he at least wants to, like, you know, a lot of times gay relationships, like gay couples will like play outside of their relationship, but like there's rules still attached to it. Yeah. And I guess without giving too much away, the boyfriend ends up like breaking those rules, and Otto is really distraught from it. So the scene I sent you is the aftermath of, you know, the boyfriend fucking up. Okay. And I sent that clip because it was like one of my first time, maybe my first time ever being like the lead of something, especially of like a film TV project. Yeah. And you know, like I don't have a whole lot of like training in acting, but it is something I've always enjoyed doing and liked to do. And I just remember the director, like he was able to really like, you know, work with me and be patient and bring me to like a really, really like emotional place that I didn't really know that I could even like do that. And I was like, wow, that was really cool. You know, like you have to like go to some maybe darker areas in your mind and your life that you kind of like avoid. Yeah. But you know, as an actor, it definitely can be beneficial for a really good performance. And it was just something I was really proud of. So that's that clip from Journeys.
Okay. Well, here it is, guys. Check it out.
Valton Jackson. Usually don't faze me, but you got me under a spell. Music's really slamming, this crowd is really jamming. You just gotta be my man, as far as I can tell. I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over club is crazy. Oh, baby, I can't get this you are. That body got me thirsty. Come and save me, I can't get this you are. Shirtless, me and you. Shirtless, shirtless me, baby. Shirtless me, shirtless you. Sexy little rendezvous, all the shirtless things that we could do. Here I am, no longer low. How you changed my life, you'll never know. You chase the clouds away, turn night to day. You're a blessing sent to me and to my heart.
some secrets of my own.
You wanted to get back at me.
It wasn't like that. I didn't want to hurt you.
Whenever someone says, I didn't want to hurt you, what they really mean is, I knew this was going to hurt you. And I did it anyway.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so where can we where can we find, or where can we watch your videos and your like hear your music? Where can they get on?
My music videos, they're all under my name, Valton Jackson, on YouTube. I also do have them under my IGTV, you know, on
Oh,
Instagram.
okay.
Yeah, like I have all three of them posted there, plus some other fun videos. My Instagram is at Valton Jackson. And then I want to say I've got my music videos posted on my Facebook page as well, which I think is public to view them.
Okay.
But your safest bet would definitely be to watch them on YouTube, which is also where you can find Journeys, that series, Journey Season 2, Davey Wavy, who's playing Otto. And my dance reel is also on my Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. My music is on anywhere music is available, all platforms. So I know a lot of people have different things that they use, whether it be Apple Music or Spotify. I'm kind of old school. I still use iTunes. I haven't switched over to streaming just yet. Tidal, all of those things have my music. You just search Valton Jackson and you can see all of my music and new music to come.
Yes, check him out, y'all. He is hot.
Okay.
I love Valton. I do. I love him. Anyway, so this is still the share sequence.
Yes.
And I asked all of my guests to pick one of the three. We have Best the Best, we have Try Something Outside of Your Comfort Zone, and we have the Call Out Round. So, which one did you pick, Mr. Jackson?
I picked the Call Out Round.
Who you call it out? Hey, who you call it out? Who you call it out?
Okay. I'm calling out my friend Brennan Lark. Brennan is a gorgeous, talented, super sweet girl here in New York. Or I think she's based in New York. I think she's actually from Connecticut. Okay. She played Eponine on Broadway in Les Mis. She played Miss Dina Jones in Dreamgirls in the West End. Yes. She's done TV. She's on film. She was on the Marvelous Miss Maisel as a recurring. Like, she's great. She's she's beautiful and sweet. And I love Brennan. She's got one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. Yeah. I'm calling Brennan out because I want to hear her. I'm being selfish. I want to hear her sing "Human Heart" from Once on This Island.
Beautiful song, of course.
Beautiful song, like one of the most beautiful songs in musical theater, in my opinion. I love the character Azuli. I think Brennan would be perfect for the role. I would love to hear her. I would love to see her play that role one day. But I just want to hear her sing, even if it's just a small snippet. I want to hear her sing "Human Heart" because I think she would do great at that. So Brennan Lark, okay, that's her her Insta at Brennan Lark. I need to hear her sing
that Human Heart.
Human Heart. Okay,
all right, Brennan Lark, I'm coming for you, girl. I'm coming for you right now. At this moment, like, we're all in a pandemic, we're all like quarantined and everything. What are you doing to kind of keep your craft fresh, or to keep yourself kind of from going crazy? Because, you know, studios are closed, gyms are closed, like things are closed, and we can't, you know, do our craft or keep things, you know, fresh. But we got to find ways to do it. What are you doing right now in the pandemic to kind of keep it fresh and entertainment for yourself?
Yeah. Um, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely tough for all of us right now, particularly artists and creators. I've I found for myself that like staying active has definitely been something that's kept me in a good mental place, you know, especially after I gained my pandemic weight. It was nice to like go on jogs, and then once gyms did reopen, just like focusing a lot of my energy towards that.
Yeah.
I am an adamant believer that like, yeah, working out is, you know, nice because it makes you like look sexy or whatever, but it's also, I think, a good thing just to like keep you mentally also just in a good place. It releases endorphins. It takes your mind off of like the current state of the world and all the bullshit that we're dealing with, and just kind of lets you go to the gym, throw on some music, and like listen to whoever you want to listen to, pick up some heavy stuff and throw it down, you know, get out some of those emotions. In terms of the arts, I have gotten a lot more into like, you know, more songwriting and like working with like different producers of my own and focusing on my music, because that's something I have always had a great passion for and wanted to do more, like I said earlier. Um, we worked together on releasing, I released 3 remixes this year, which was like cool. Like, I mean, it was just kind of like, once the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, well, like I'm not doing theater anymore, but I still want to work on like who I am as an artist and entertainer. So I was working with my producer through like, you know, phone calls and text messages and emails. And like, I put together like 1 remix of my song, Greatest Part of Me, back in like May, I think it was. And then, or was it April? I forget. And then earlier this year, and then I released 2 more remixes of my debut single, Can't Get Next to You, early September.
Okay.
And it was nice just to like, it just felt so good for me just to get new music out, even if they were just remixes, just like a new take on like songs I had written and recorded, you know, from before now. Working with graphic designers on like, you know, cool, you know, art album cover artwork. So that's something else that adds to my whole artistry, my whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes like just like singing videos and just like looking at different like, you know, things online, like songs I've always kind of like wanted to like sing and like practice like singing it and see like, is that a song that fits in my voice? Does it work? Like trying to like, you know, trying my best to stay on top of my craft and what it is that I do, but not obsessing over it. Like I think, you know, especially when you live in these big cities and like artists, we're so used to being like constantly auditioning, constantly working on the go, run. Like, I think there is value in pausing. Like, I think, you know, and a lot of people have kind of like said things that sort of like work in that concert of thought that, you know, a lot of good that came from this pandemic, maybe one of the only good things that came from this pandemic, is that it forced us to stop. Like, it forced us to slow down and just, you know, check in, reevaluate, and just sort of, you know, like see, like remind yourself or discover for yourself what's important, but also like just breathe. Like you, like it's like God was like, all this stuff that's got you going. Like, I'm gonna take it all away. So now what you gonna do?
Right.
And now you have, but you know, now you gotta like just relax, like catch up on rest, like in watch a movie, watch a concert, watch a musical, watch something that you always wanted to see, and just, you know, that. Like, I mean, I feel like that's where I've spent a lot of my time, with like self-discovery and sort of working on maybe like a rebirth of who I am. Not only just as an artist, but as a person, seeing just the state of the world and like what things I can do better to change, you know, like with all the like, you know, the police brutality and like the murders and things. Obviously, as a Black person living in America, that's clearly something that hit very close to home. That's something that hit on home, like that, like that bust my door down. You know? Because that could have been like I mean, would it be Brianna or George or Ahmaud? Like, that could have been any one of us. Like, I mean, I go jogging all the time, just like Ahmaud Arbery. Like, I run like it ain't nobody's business. Like, headphone and mask on, and I'm just minding my business jogging. Like, that could have easily have been me, and that's very triggering, and it's disturbing. But it makes you value life, obviously, more, and not take it for granted. I know I personally, you know, I guess one of my forms of protest was, I couldn't help but just think about all of the victims and their families, and like people who we maybe even like have never even heard of that were like the victims of like gun
Right.
violence and police brutality. So I took it upon myself to just kind of like look up I've looked up as many names of people in the past 50 plus years, like going back all the way to like Emmett Till, even though I know Emmett, I don't think Emmett was Emmett Till, he was shot.
He was no, he was
I know he was drowned.
dragged,
Yeah.
tarred, feathered, and then thrown, I think, in the water.
Right.
So he was worse than shot, basically.
Yeah, like brutally. No one should die like that ever.
Yeah.
So I went all the way back to Emmett, like starting with Emmett Till, and just kind of like worked my way through history of like, you know, Black and brown people who have been the victims of just unjust, unfair murder and brutality, but specifically at the hands of the police or their murders, like, you know, just there was no justice served. Like, even if it wasn't done by a policeman, but it was like this Black person, a human being, their life was taken away, and it just seemed like no one cared. It's just kind of like, oh, all right. So I would took to my Instagram and my Facebook and like posted a picture every day of just like their name and like a heart emoji, just to honor them, even if it was just for that 24-hour period. And then I took all the pictures together and like made a post, and, you know, hoped that it was in some way me maybe like connecting with them and just remembering them for the person that they were, the dreams that they had, you know, like, I don't know, like it was just something I wanted to do for them, but also for myself, because like, you know, being Black in America, like it's lit. Like, being Black is great, it's fun, but it can also, you know, it can be a lot to deal with sometimes, you know, because of other people and outside factors. But this was a way of me maybe like assessing everything that was happening and going on, and trying to like keep my attention on the people who were like, that were hurt the most by all of this. I didn't want to watch any of the videos. I did not watch the video of George Floyd. I didn't need to see it. I did not watch the video of Ahmaud Arbery. I don't need to. I'm Black. I know what it is. Like, I know. I don't need to see it.
Exactly.
I donated to different organizations when I could. You know, Black Lives Matter, of course, but also like some that were more focused on like Black LGBTQ families and victims as well, because, you know, that's something else that it's so weird, again, like this whole pandemic, like self-discovery and reevaluating things. Like, there's so many Black and brown people that are also murdered that are members of the queer community, who I feel like don't get the same national recognition or the same, you know, heartfelt condolences, largely from the Black community. Like I even remember when Trayvon Martin was murdered and being so heartbroken over that tragedy, and like looking at pictures of him in his little, like, you know, Abercrombie t-shirts and stuff, like, oh my God, like that's me from high school. Like, same haircut, same t-shirt, you know, I have a hoodie. I'll walk down the street in a hoodie sometimes. It's cold outside, you know, like I would see him, I saw his pictures, and I just remember being so disturbing, because I was like, that could have been me, that could have been my brother, heaven forbid, that could have been an uncle, that could have been a cousin, it could have been anybody, you know. And how the world was just in, like, we collectively, the Black community and Black community and people outside of the Black community were able to come together and like talk about and discuss how unfair and unjust and heartbreaking it was for Trayvon's death. But then I couldn't help but also, being a gay person, like there would be times I'd be like, well, if Trayvon Martin had been gay, would there have been as much outrage from the Black community? You know, because I know there was that young boy, Nigel Shelby, who was the victim of, like, you know, not gun violence, but like a bullying he was from Alabama. He was a young gay Black boy, and he did ultimately take his own life. But I know his mother, you know, said to the media multiple times, and in every interview she did, that was just like, you know, there was a lot of like harassment for her son that went on for a long time. And I want to say he went to a predominantly Black high school in a predominantly Black neighborhood. And she just talked about how, like, he would complain and no one did anything and no one cared. And even after he took his own life, it just seemed like it was something that people were making fun of it. People were sort of just not really like taking it to heart the same way they would take, you know, the murder of Trayvon Martin or Kendrick Johnson, or like, other young Black boys that were also either the victims of like harassment and bullying, or, gun violence, police brutality. And so I don't know, like, so I also wanted to take it as a moment to not only shine light on the victims that we all knew about, but also ones that we didn't know about, and ones that I felt like were sort of just swept on their rug because they didn't maybe fit a certain,
Yeah.
idea of what Black people are. So,
Right.
but it did, like, it didn't make me feel good, but it was something that I enjoy doing, like bringing attention to the victims.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of like everyone focusing on the police and their names and like all that, which I do think that, I mean, that's important to, like, call them out for what they did. But I also feel like the families and the victims are the ones dealing with the biggest losses. So
yeah.
So I've done a lot of that I felt, and in doing so, I feel like, being an artist, like art imitates life. Like in doing that, it helped me, further along my growth as a human being, which helps further along my growth as an artist. Like I sat down and like thought about like writing certain lyrics and things about those victims, some more than others that maybe I just really connected with. And so all of that encompassing, I've been, doing what I can to like work on myself as a performer, as an artist, but also just me as a human being, which essentially are the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of how I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
With all of that you just said, like, do you have just so we can like tie it into each other, do you have a Black history moment that you would like to share with us?
I do.
Oh,
I do.
Very befitting right here, right now.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Something encouraging, right?
Yeah.
And something like joyful to celebrate.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm a recording artist, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to know who the top Black recording artists with #1 hits? And so I did some research, and I was able to find an article that came out in like May of 2018, 2019. So it's not super up to date. In fact, I know one of the artists on the list has since then gained another #1, and so I'll make sure I include that when I talk about them. But essentially, I found a list of like all the artists, and I just like counted like the Black and brown people, and I was like, okay, so these are the like top 10 Black recording artists with the most #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100.
Yes, let's hear it.
At number 10, we have the boss, Miss Diana Ross. She has, to date, I mean, as this article, it might have changed, to date, 6 #1s at 11 weeks.
Wow.
So between her 6 #1 hits, they were on the charts for 11 weeks at a time at #1.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 9, like, so do we claim Paula? Do we claim Paula Abdul? I saw her on the list and I was like, she's not Black, but she's not white. And I was like, do I include? She's like I think she's a Middle Easterner or something.
Oh,
Abdul. I felt weird leaving her off the list.
Yeah, let's do it.
I felt weird leaving her off the list.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we claim Mariah.
Of course. We love Paula though, child.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
And people sleep on her. Like, once upon a time in history of pop culture, Paula Abdul was like that bitch. Like, she was a pop princess, like pop star.
Yes.
Like,
indeed.
Okay. Like shows, concerts, red carpets. So at number 9, we have Paula Abdul, who also had 6 #1s, but at 12 weeks.
Okay.
At number 8, Mr. Stevie Wonder.
Woo!
Love him. Okay. Come on, signed, still delivered. Stevie Wonder. I'm your, he had. I'm sorry. Number 8, we have our lovely Stevie Wonder, who has to date 9 #1s at 21 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So between 9 songs, they went to number 1, and they were up there for 21 weeks, like almost an entire like months. Like, yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So we had Stevie at number 8. So at number 7, Usher Raymond. Okay.
They come.
USHERRAYMOND. Yeah. Yes. Usher has 9 number 1s as well, like Stevie, but Usher has had 22 weeks at number 1.
Okay.
And Stevie's had 21. So see, both Usher and Stevie Wonder had the same amount of number 1 hits, but Usher has been at number 1 week longer.
Right.
So that places him higher on the list.
Got you. Wow.
At number 6, we have Janet, Miss Jackson, If You're Nasty. One of my personal favorites, okay? One of my biggest influences as a stage performer. When I was talking earlier about like the whole like singer dancer thing, Janet's definitely someone who's like growing up, someone I was like, oh, your stage presence and the way you dance and perform, like that's something I really relate to.
Yeah.
So I've always loved Janet. So Janet has a whopping 10 number 1s.
Wow.
At 21 weeks. Okay. So she has 10 number 1 hits.
Yeah. Janet.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
I know. Come on, Janet. All right. Beginning our top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5. Here are our top 5. Number 5, we have Whitney Houston, Auntie Nippy.
Oh, Whitney.
The Voice.
The Voice.
We ain't never gonna have another Whitney. We haven't had nobody since. It's like, oh, that voice. And just her energy, her personality. Like Whitney,
Yes.
I watched, like, that's something else I did during the pandemic. I watched all of Being Bobby Brown just for her.
I love Whitney.
I love her. I love glamorous, beautiful pop star Whitney, but I also like love hood, Jersey, ghetto Whitney, who's like gonna tell you exactly how it is. I'm like, yes, Whitney, let them know. Like,
okay.
I love both.
Love.
Whitney has 11 number 1s at 31 weeks.
I'm not surprised.
At all.
I'm not surprised.
11 number 1 hits at 31 weeks. The Voice. At number 4, we have the Supremes.
Oh.
Okay. Taking it back, taking it a little old school. Like, so Diana Ross was number 10, but as the Supremes, she's number 4. Well, like all of them, all the ladies.
Right.
The Supremes are number 4. They have 12 number 1 hits at 19 weeks.
What?
I know. I was like, okay, Supremes. I'm like, I love the Supremes. I love a lot of their songs. Like, I hear Symphony is like one of my most favorite Supreme songs ever. But I didn't realize they had that many number 1s. I was like, that was one of the ones I was like, oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
But it's not like the Supremes have released a song within the last 20 years.
Exactly.
But still, of Black artists, they are at the top. They're like, in the top half.
Okay.
Of Black recording artists with number 1 hits. Number 1 hits. That's what I'm saying. It's a hard thing to do. Number 1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. So the Supremes are at number 4. And number 3, we have the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. He has 13 number 1s at 30 weeks.
Okay. Wow.
13 number 1s at 30
weeks.
Right. So between his 13 number 1 hits, okay? The way you make me feel, it really turns.
Yay!
So Michael's number 3. These are our top 3. So Michael was number 3.
Yes, I love it.
Number 2. I know some people gonna be trying to like, what? She beat Michael? Whatever, don't come for my girl. And number 2 is Rihanna.
What?
Rihanna is the number 2 top selling Black recording artist with the most number 1s on the Hot 100. Rihanna has an amazing 16 number 1 hit singles.
That the Riri.
Okay, and she and Rihanna only debuted in like maybe 2000. When did Rihanna come out? 2003, 2004.
Something, yes.
Somewhere around 2004. So like
on the replay, right, or something.
Right. On the replay, that's my jam.
Yes.
she's on her. I would say out of everyone on the list, I think her career was maybe like the newest, or at least like the shortest in time.
Yeah.
She's only really been like a recording artist for essentially 15 years or so. And she, in that time, has accumulated 16 number 1 hits. So essentially a number 1 every year.
Okay.
On average. at 15 weeks though. So that was something I found interesting, is that she has one of the most amount of number ones, but one of the lowest weeks on the chart.
Wow.
At number one. So it's like she has all these number ones, but I guess essentially like each one of them was only number one for like a week.
Right.
Or two, you know?
Okay. Oh.
So Rihanna's number 2. And then number 1 at the top, okay.
Drum roll.
Mimi. Drum roll. The number 1 Black recording artist with the most number 1 hits is none other than the elusive chanteuse, the beautiful songbird herself, Miss Mariah Carey.
Yes.
Which is not surprising. Mariah Carey has 18 number ones at the date of this article, but actually I believe it's 19 because this past December, she got her 19th number 1 with All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Stop.
Yes, so Mariah has Mariah has 19 number 1 singles. The only artist with more number 1s than Mariah are the Beatles. And she has a whopping 60 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. So for more than a year, Mariah has more than a year's worth of time at number 1 for having the number 1 song on the Billboard charts with 19 number 1s.
See,
that's what I'm talking about.
I'm a fan of Mariah, but I'm a huge fan of old Mariah.
Yes. I feel you on that. I get it. The ballads, the hits. Yeah.
Love Takes Time.
That's a great one. Hero, Vision of Love.
Yes, Vision of Love, child. Hero.
But I was actually thinking the other day too, like one of my favorite Mariah eras though was like the Rainbow Heartbreaker era. But she did that was really, really cute. Like I just like Thank God I Found You, and like she just seemed like she had just got out of her marriage. Like it just seemed like she was having a really fun time. She was wearing little crop tops and like it's not she was like living her life during that era. Like I'm also just a fan of the 90s and early 2000s. Like that's just like where I dwell.
The best.
But yes, Mariah Carey at number 1 with 18 number 1s for 60 weeks.
Wow.
So starting at number 10 to number 1 again, it was Diana Ross, Paula Abdul, Stevie Wonder, Usher, Janet Jackson, Whitney Houston, The Supremes, Michael Jackson, Rihanna, Mariah Carey.
Oh my gosh, that's really good. Wow,
right.
Val.
Now before I get any hate from any of your fans, because I know some of the people watching this are gonna be a part of the Beehive. I don't want nobody think I'm trying to come for our Queen Bee. I love Beyonce, but Beyonce she's the honorable mention that I was talking about. Honorable mention number 11 spot. Beyonce has 5 number 1s at 22 weeks. So they don't count Beyonce when she was in Destiny's Child. It's like Destiny's Child and Beyonce are 2 separate artists, kind of like Diana Ross and the Supremes are 2 separate artists.
Exactly.
And I don't know exactly how many number 1s even Destiny's Child had, because again, as we've discovered, getting a number 1 is not an easy thing. Like not everybody can do that.
No.
So Beyonce has, as a solo artist, has 5 number 1s at 22 weeks. And I remember reading the article, they said, you know, as surprising as it might be, because I mean, obviously she's gained so much popularity and continues to be like, you know, bigger now than maybe she ever was.
Yeah.
But like the last number 1 she had was in 2008 with Single Ladies. She has not had a number 1 hit single since then. And I was like, I was like, for real? I was like, none of her songs have gone number 1 since then. They're like, no. They're like, her albums always chart high.
Right.
Her albums do well, but they're like, no, her last number 1 song was Single Ladies. She hasn't had a number 1 song since then. I was like, oh, wow. But those are our most accomplished Black recording artists on the Billboard Hot 100 with the most number 1. I think they deserve a round of applause.
They do. They
okay,
do.
That's great. Like, not everyone can do it.
I always like to ask my guests to share a little bit of tea. I mean, it's called Talented Tea, child. So we got tea on this good old show, honey. Okay.
Early now, you know, you can't be asking me questions like this because you know my mouth. Like, you know, like I'm not like, you know, I'm not one for like mincing words. Like, I just kind of tell it like how I feel. But I'm not one of those gay boys that's like mean spirited or like intentionally going out of my way to like hurt people's feelings or anything. But at the same time, like I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. Like, after 10 plus years in New York, I'm just kind of stumped. Oh shit. Oh,
Honey,
goodness.
spill it. Go ahead.
So I can remember, earlier this year, when the pandemic had kind of first hit, and there was a lot going on. There were murders, people were dying, COVID was happening, there were protests, there were riots, there was a lot of emotion, a lot of things going on top of people having to deal with like being trapped in their houses for like weeks on end. So I understand that there was a lot of, like anxiety things going around. I remember, particularly in the theater community, this would have been, I guess, sometime in like April, maybe. Maybe not April, maybe it was more like a June moment, maybe sometime in June. There were videos of certain people, Black people in the theater community going around where essentially they were talking about how, Black Broadway or Broadway can be very racist and caters towards a certain type of performer who looks a certain way, usually white, all American, all that. And how, Black people being on Broadway, you essentially, all you get to do is like be the featured like vocalist who hits the high note or does the riff in that one song.
Right.
Or you get to be just like, like the sex symbol, whatever, that like the white person like fondles over and then you're moved to the back or whatever. There were also, some people talking about like, shows that they've written that were like Black stories that they felt like the reason that the Broadway community had not put support behind that show was because it was about Black people and because it was a Black show. I remember watching these videos and just kind of in my mind being really, really agitated and annoyed because I felt like with everything that was going on right now, Breonna Taylor had just been murdered, or at least not that long ago. Because I remember people were talking about how her birthday was coming up and she wasn't going to be able to celebrate her 27th birthday because she was no longer with us.
Right.
There were riots, there was a lot going on outside of the theater world that pertains to all Black people, all Black and brown people, particularly in this country, but really all over the world.
Yeah.
About systematic racism that has been inbred in this country's DNA since its beginning. I felt it was very, very selfish and bad timing and completely inappropriate to make this about you, to like make this about something that was like essentially only affected like a small percentage of Black people who do musicals. Like you're sitting up here complaining about like your boring ass show not getting picked up and no one wanting to like watch your and about you not getting to be like a leading man because you feel like because you're Black people just want you to like hit the high note or whatever. And it's just I just feel like it was the wrong time. Like we have people dying, being shot, getting murdered simply because of their skin color.
Yeah.
And you're over here sitting here talking about Broadway. Like Broadway's not even a thing right now. Like it's closed. And there's no sign of it even opening right now. Are there things that need to change within the theater and Broadway community towards Black people? Absolutely. Of course there are. But also, like, if you don't want the gig, like, if you don't want to be the one to sing the high note, then stop auditioning. Like, stop going in for the show. Like, I guess I feel like if it's that problematic to you and you don't want to do it anymore, then stop doing it. Like, I personally, a lot of times, because of, like, my athletic build or whatever, I'm often, like, in the shows I play, like, they'll put me up as, like the sexy chorus boy or whatever, and usually, yes, it is some white girl who's, like, feeling on me, or I have to, like, pick her up or, like, highlight her.
Right.
But, like, for whatever reason, like, I'm not affected by it. I don't see a big problem with it. It's a gig. It's a job. And it's a job that I enjoy doing for now until I don't want to do it anymore. Then I'll stop doing it. But, like, I'm not going to, and I haven't been on Broadway yet. So like black people in theater, particularly in New York, who were like, it was just really funny seeing these like, these Black Broadway people talk about being disenfranchised and like being, judged and ridiculed and feeling like they're being treated very unfairly, which, look, I guess is justifiable. But then it's like, well, when you see the non-Broadway Black theater people in the room, you don't speak to us and you don't have anything to really say to us, but you want to be rewarded for feeling some kind of way just because like you're not the lead in a show, like. And I guess there's a part of me that like, I know as Black and brown people we do have to work twice as hard to get half as far.
Yeah,
that we know. We all know that. Like, we know that that's the cards that we're dealt. That's the way our cookie crumbles, and it's very unfair. And of course we can work towards changing that, but I don't know. Like, I just feel
there's
like
validity to that fight, to that struggle, but
not when we've got people dying.
Right.
Like, not when we got people dead in the streets, people who never been to a musical in their whole life.
Right.
Because of their skin, the color of their skin. You need to be focusing on that. Like, how are you not focusing on like these victims and their families? You're focusing on you.
Bigger picture.
You're focusing on like, I want to be the lead in the show when Broadway comes back. So I'm going to complain about it now. How like, because I'm Black, I'm not being a lead. It's like, when first of all, I was like, boo, like, you're not actually, like, maybe you being Black ain't got shit to do with why you're not a leading man. Maybe you're not a leading man because you don't act like a man, really. Like, maybe you're not a leading man because like you can't act. Maybe you're not a leading man because like you're not really that tall or in shape. You're not a leading man because you're a queen and like you're a kid and I live for it. But it's like, what leading man role would you be anyway? Like, yeah, you can sing, but like, you're not going to be the star of anybody's show. And for Homeboy, it was talking about like his show, like, because it was Black, like, I'm like, bitch, like, people, like, if nothing else, we know white people love to see us sing and dance. If nothing else, they love to see us perform, like, sing and dance and play sports. So you having a Black musical actually is maybe the one and only thing going for it. Like, that's why, people would be encouraging your show. Oh, you're gonna have Black people singing and dancing? Great, let's see it. Yeah. But then you get up there and like, and I've been in for this show. Like, I auditioned for it. This show is boring as fuck. Like, I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember no song from it. I was just like, this is whack as hell. Like, don't nobody want to see this bullshit. That's why nobody picked up your show, because it's boring. That's why. It ain't got nothing to do with being about Black people. It being about Black people is his only saving grace. That's the one good thing about it. Okay? So, like, that really got on my nerves. Like, I remember being really, really annoyed with that. So, like, I was like, y'all are focusing on the wrong stuff, That's why I was like, so just proud and encouraged when Billy Porter, he posted a video. Essentially, like, he acknowledged the whole being Black on Broadway thing. And of course, he, more than anyone, can definitely attest to being Black and gay and not feeling like you're being given what you deserve. Mm-hmm. But he's like, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about police officers killing people who look like you and me for simply breathing, okay? For simply walking down the street, for simply like being in my apartment asleep, for going on a jog, Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about right now, okay? No one's talking about you getting to be the lead of a show that you ain't gonna be the lead of anyway, regardless of whether you're Black or not. That ain't got shit to do with it. That's not what we're talking about right now, okay? There are bigger issues and bigger things that we need to be discussing, and you need to be focused on that. We'll get to the other stuff later, but let's focus on this right now.
Yes. Staying alive.
That's what, it's like just my opinion, okay? There are obviously people who could very well disagree with everything I just said and be completely valid. And if you want to disagree with me, go ahead, please. By all means, you're allowed to have your own opinion. You can disagree with me if you want to, but this is how I feel. And this is the way I felt, when all of that was going down, when all these videos were circulating of these people complaining about, what it's like being Black in the Broadway community. It's just like, Broadway's closed. Like, Broadway's not even open right now. Like, why are you even talking about Broadway? It's not even a thing right now.
Honey.
Like, you need to focus your attention on what matters.
Yes. Living.
Okay? Living. So I guess that would be my tea.
Honey, that was some good old tea. Okay.
No hard feelings to anyone. I love everybody. I think everyone's talented. Everyone's great. I want everyone to succeed. I wish everybody well. But I just think it's important sometimes to, like, a lot of actors and entertainers and writers, arts people can be very like self-absorbed and like self-focused. And it's like, how does this affect me?
Yeah.
What does this do for me? And it's just like, you need to think about other people. You need to work. You need to be like focused on others and not just
Yes,
yourself.
honey.
It's just kind of how I feel about that.
I hear you.
And stop using being Black as an excuse about stuff sometimes. Like we know we have to work harder, but like also, like I said, like being Black is also great. Like being Black is like lit. You know, sometimes it works to our advantage too.
Exactly.
You know, like don't like stop trying to like use don't think, oh, just because this didn't work in my favor, it's because I'm Black. Sometimes it ain't got shit to do with that. It really don't. Right. Sometimes it does. Oftentimes it does, but a lot of times it don't. Boo.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Make sure you're being honest with yourself. Make sure you know thyself and you're being truthful. And you know, maybe there are other deciding factors as to why things aren't going your way.
Right.
But like it feels even silly to say it's like not going your way, but it's like, but you've been in like 5 Broadway shows. Like you're doing just fine, boo. Like relax.
Yeah. Yes.
Hello.
Stop playing.
But anyways.
Anyway, okay, thank you for that tea, Valton.
That was too much. I know my mouth be getting me into trouble. That was too much.
That's right.
But I meant every word of it. I don't take any of it back though. I didn't say anything out of it.
Oh, honey, please. Like you said, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And you are free to voice it.
Yeah. This is America, isn't it?
Hello. You so stupid. Can you share some encouraging words with our guests?
Yeah.
Close our interview session off.
Yes, I would love to. I would just say, hey, everybody. Keep your head up. Do not get bogged down in the negative energies that are like flowing around. Like, make sure you are always putting yourself first because you have to. Make sure you are protecting your mind and your spirit and your heart and your soul. Do things that make you happy, so long as you ain't hurting or bothering nobody else.
Okay.
Making sure you have good conversations with friends.
Yes.
Make sure you're listening to good music. Making sure you're, talk to your mom, talk to your family. Just be around good people and things that put you in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
Especially right now, our country is in a, in a situation right now, especially with this being an election year, where it's real easy to like go to dark places. And if you're still like quarantining or you're just like still social distancing and stuff, as we should be. Yeah. Being alone it can get you, you can find yourself somewhere that you don't need to be and that you don't want to be. And so you have to make sure that you are maintaining a positive outlook on life, but also just on yourself. So whatever you need to do to keep that positive outlook, do it. Music, draw, paint, go on a jog, go have some sex with as many people as you want. Like whatever you need to do to keep you in good graces, prayer, shower all day, clean your house, whatever it is that makes you think about, sit with yourself and just be like, what do I like to do? What makes me happy? Make sure you're doing at least one of those a day.
Yes.
And just keep your head up and just know like nothing is forever. Like things, everything like has its shelf life. Everything has an expiration date. So, good or bad. So just make sure you just don't get overwhelmed and just like, keep moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Val. This has been extremely pleasurable.
Yeah. For me as well.
It's been amazing. Like this is so good. Like not to like toot my own horn or whatever, but I just love that this idea came to me because it is a way for me to kind of pull myself out of it and keep in contact with people that I love and love to be around and love to laugh with. So it's a great exercise, if anything, for me to kind of reach out and communicate and share, my energy.
Mm-hmm.
Other
which we need your energy. Like, I love your energy, and I'm so thankful that you had the idea and that you decided to do this as well. I think this is great. I think this is wonderful. I think you're awesome at it. And yeah.
Oh, thank you, Boo.